Tell me when you guys are ready to roll. You all good?
Yeah. Can I scoot you forward a bit so I can get behind?
You good in there, guys? Go ahead, Ed.
First record I ever bought was Dave Clark 5, Glad All Over.
What was it that attracted you to the song?
Drums.
What's the color of the label?
Yellow.
I think it was. I remember Red being involved with Dave Clark 5.
They were on Epic Records.
Yeah.
You memorized all of that. Denny Payton played sax. That was very important to me because I played sax.
Oh, that's funny because he's the one guy I didn't remember. But yeah, the drums. Everybody likes drums.
I was just listening to some Gene Krupa, old 1940s stuff this evening, getting ready to come here. And the key to that was the drums. And it was the ba-da-ba-da-ba-do-ba-ba-da-ba. Sounded like he was playing with wooden spatulas. Big, fat notes. Yeah. For them, at the time, that was their Led Zeppelin snare drum whop-whop. It had the biggest, bassiest, wildest go-cat sound available.
I think if you notice, they did a lot of smiling when they played, too.
Same for me. I was always encouraged. Whenever you do anything, you gotta come on, bring it to life, bring the big smile. That was in all the dancers too, right? The Gene Kelly thing, right, with the white socks and everybody. What was your first record?
The first one I remember, I don't think I bought it. It was actually it was a Louis Bellson record. It was a '78, which was. Even during the time of 45s, those were on the way out.
Louis Bellson being a drummer?
Yeah, Louis Bellson was the drummer for Duke Ellington.
He was a double kick guy, right?
Count Basie.
Double kick guy?
He was the first double kick, And he was actually, the way he started is interesting because he, out of 40,000 contestants, he won in the Gene Krupa drum contest. That's how he got started. He was 17 at the time. And because of the notoriety of the contest, he was seen as some really great player, which he was, and he ended up with guys who were much older than him, you know, like Count Basie and Duke Ellington, and that whole bunch of swing bands. And back then, you know, the swing is one of those things that if you have to explain it, you'll never understand it. You know, you feel it, and can I say it, for a white guy to play in those bands, man, was quite a gig. And he played until he was 84, and then he dropped.
Did he die at the drum set?
Yeah. He was married to Pearl.
Way to go.
He was married to Pearl Bailey. If anybody remembers Pearl Bailey, this woman could sing. I mean, the voice was like velvet.
Remember Pearl Harbor? We're playing the Isle of Wight. I Love Lucy, right?
But
no, you know what? And whenever you talk about music like that, guys like me make fun. And whenever I talk about it, they make fun of me. Just because somehow you know. But if you are not aware of the past, you're doomed to be a baby for the rest of your life.
That's right.
And if you think you invented something, then you're probably, well, let me say it as an expression that I've heard. If you think you invented something in music, you're probably just unaware of the guy who really did it first. Do you think that's true or not true?
To a certain extent.
Which extent?
How far do you want to go?
First record I bought was the Beatles' second record. Roll Over Beethoven was the first song, and that had a superb impact on me because I didn't know at the time that was a cover tune. I didn't know that was a Chuck Berry tune.
Well, bottom line, you got 12 notes. Do what you want with them, so you can say everything's been done before.
Okay.
Just arranging those 12 notes in a different way.
Off of the Beatle record, though, it didn't occur to me that you could do other people's tunes,
right,
and have it be your own sound.
Make them your own.
Until that point in time, and that's something we did a little bit later. You know, when we started making records. Remember the Rod Stewart version? Every time there was a cool song that came out as a single, Rod Stewart would do it his own way. Do you remember that? What song?
He still does that.
Yeah.
You got to remember, there was a time, and this is right sort of maybe 5, 10, 15 years before we came on the scene, where you were really the performer and interpreter. Other people wrote the music,
right?
You know, and we, strangely enough, when we finally hit the scene, you wrote your own music, which can be a plus or a minus. But back then you were basically
everything was written by
the uniqueness of your sound, by how proficient you were at what you did, you know, and you know, the actual song was secondary as far as the writing of it.
Most people talk about the greats in the terms of vocals like Sinatra and Elvis, and when you say to them, they never wrote it. Never wrote any of their material.
No.
That's so alien to the Coachella Bonnaroo voter block. That's millions of people strong, you know, the Lollapalooza voter block, who have grown up never knowing anything but people who wrote their own material, and even to a great extent produced their own material. Virtually, well, that's not true for pop and dance music, is it? We're talking about rock and roll. If you play a guitar and drums for a living, then you grew up in the generations where most of the people are making their own music. When did we start writing our own stuff? We played in bars for 4 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before we actually
I
started
couldn't
playing.
imagine, though, somebody writing something for us.
No, I couldn't either,
You know what I mean?
really.
It wouldn't be, I don't know how that would work. If we existed during those days where people wrote for you, how would we fit? I wouldn't get it.
Well, I remember even trying to write songs like for other people, and that didn't work. I remember auditioning at the Ice House, playing acoustic guitar before I joined up with you fellas. And audition night was as far as I ever got. That was on Sunday nights at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's as far as we got with us, too, remember?
I auditioned with you guys and sang a Grand Funk Railroad tune, didn't I? What was that, Inside Looking Out or whatever?
Yeah, that, and Crossroads and some other stuff.
Well,
Still Alive and Well or something like that, I forget.
Okay. What was the rock record that made you want to play your instrument? I can think of the sounds, the guys who sang that I wanted to imitate. What was the record that you got where you said, I want to play that instrument, I want to be like that guy?
Well, here we go. That's where Al and I, you know, I think in a previous segment we talked about we grew up on piano, and I started playing drums because of Dave Clark 5. Okay, I didn't start playing guitar until much later.
How old were you when you started playing guitar then?
Sure, 12, 13, something like that, when Al took my drums. So I got stuck playing his guitar.
Okay,
I never really wanted to play guitar.
But that's the point in time when we're going to step out into public too, right? When you turn into that teenager is when you're making your choices.
But I mean, there was no particular song that made me want to play guitar. That if there is
No particular artist?
Al.
Well, I play guitar.
Yeah, because he took my drums, so I had to play his guitar.
But in terms of a record.
We joke about this stuff, but it's a true story. What happened was I was pretty good on the guitar. I had taken lessons. I was pretty agile around the thing. But when Ed picked it up, he wasn't just playing the guitar. He was making music. I mean, you could hear it. I mean, I gave up. I said, here, you take it, man. The story about me practicing on the drums while I was doing the paper route, that's partially true, but that was not the reason, you know. You have to, at some point, as an artist, be true to what you're hearing. He plays, it's music. I play, it's pretty good. Okay, Ed, please, take the guitar. It's that simple.
I guess the reason I remember it different is because I wanted to play drums.
There you go.
Everybody wants to play drums.
But for me, it wasn't really a record. It was a movie. It was Hard Day's Night.
You know what? That had a super impact on me too, because you could live it.
Yes.
That it wasn't just music. That it involved how you even traveled to work.
Man. It was a whole
How you behaved on the train. How you acted backstage. What a backstage looked like. What the people who wandered around backstage.
Hey, with me, it was the chicks, man.
Well, that was a huge part of it. You know, like
that's the whole movie. Being chased by chicks.
Do they still do that for anybody? Do they do? They did that for Justin Bieber, right? Do they still do that? What do they do when they catch him? Well, according to rumor with Justin, well, you get the same prize you get if you win last place. Same trophy. Have a seat. You're next.